Okay, so I started reading the Bible from beginning to end, starting in Genesis. I used to jump into the middle of the Bible and to places that I knew were giving me what I needed for the day, encouragement, or help me through pain, or help me with my laziness, or whatever. And then sometimes I would play what a friend of mine calls Bible roulette, which is very dangerous, but supposedly, but just because she told me a joke that was really funny, but it made sense. But anyway, where you just open the Bible and say, Lord, tell me something today, show me something today. And so I thought I never read the Bible from beginning to end. I know how it ends. I like reading all that stuff because the writer in me it's very descriptive the way the world ends, and it's very storybook ending. Scary, not good. If you never read the end of the Bible, you need to, but prepare. It's not pretty. Anyway, so I decided, let me read from beginning to end. Even as a child, I never read the beginning to end. I heard all the stories, like Noah's Ark, which even that story got some stuff left out of it. I was not told a lot of stuff in that story that I read, and I was like, whoa, what? I don't know how much is on purpose and how much is on accident when we're being taught as kids. I know we can't process a lot of stuff and break it down, but maybe we should be being told that from the beginning, all these little things that are very scary. And I can see why people say the God of the Old Testament was an angry God, or was an angry God, because he kills a lot. He destroys people a lot. He is quick to anger. Well, I don't know if he's quick to anger, but he gets angry a lot. He gives them a lot of chances and they just don't listen. And he's always like, why don't you listen to me? Like, even recently, I am in Leviticus 22, and even recently he told Moses, recently, he told Moses, y'all go ahead, you go get skedat. I'm not going with you because y'all are stiff-necked people and I might destroy you. So just go. And then Moses talked him into changing his mind. He said, no, if that happens and the Egyptians see that we've been destroyed, they'll lose faith in that you freed us. They'll say, look, their God destroyed them. Or anyway, so God said, yeah, I'll go. I don't know how many times you can talk God out of his plans. I thought his plans were his plans in his way. But apparently in the Bible, it happened a lot. In the Old Testament, at least anyway, so far. And again, I'm only 3 chapters in, but a lot. God said this is what's going to happen, and someone said, please change your mind, and he did. But here's my question. Should I ask it from the get-go? Do we have to believe everything we read in the Bible? I know the quick, short answer people want to say is yes. But is it all or nothing? For example, whenever it says the Lord told Moses to tell Aaron, I'm going to give you an example of that right now. Or the Lord told Moses to say, how do we know, or the Lord told Isaac, or the Lord told Jacob to tell Isaac, how do we know how many times that really happened? They did, I gotta not say so much. They did maybe smoke things back then. I don't know. The tent of worship had a lot of smoke coming out every time they went in it. See, I said again. And I know it's the fire of the Lord. I'm just saying, like, Moses got drunk after the flood, or Noah got drunk after the flood. It was probably by accident. He was growing grapes and experimenting and didn't know fermentation and all that stuff. I'm saying things happen by accident. So what if when Noah was drunk and under the influence, he thought the Lord said this, that, or the other? Did he recognize that he was drunk and it was not the Lord? Or, Anyway, that's my question, because there's things in here that really throw me off. I'll just give you an example. The Lord said to Moses right here, say to Aaron, for the generations to come, none of your descendants who has a defect may not come near to offer the food to the Lord. No man who has any defect may come near to, no man who is blind or lame or disfigured or deformed, no man with a crippled foot or a hand, or who is hunchback, who is hunchback or dwarf, or who has an eye defect, or who has festering or running sores or damaged testicles. No descendant of Aaron the priest who has any defect is to come near to present the food offering to the Lord. He has a defect. He must not come near to offer the food. Now, God made them with a defect. So if they were in Aaron's line and they were supposed to be priests, which I guess they're all not supposed to, and this is a way of weaning them out, but like God made them, and he made them with a defect, so why can they not worship him? Now, it does just say food offering, so I'm sure other offerings, but to me, that's mean. To me, that's mean. That's mean of the Lord. That's mean. But I'm sure there's a reason for it. And I need to tell you guys, I'm not trying to study the Bible blindly. There's all kinds of Google and Bing and DuckDuckGo. And I have these books. This map is really cool. I actually like it. Anyway, and I'm not studying blindly, but there is a lot. I should have started talking about this in Genesis when I first started reading, because I want to show you my notes from the beginning. I mean, these are my notes from... So I have been taking notes and trying to figure things out. I have not been going the Bible, just reading the Bible and not studying it and thinking on it. Look, I even cried when Sarah died. But I got how long they lived and how many kids they had and it's just, I am fascinated with it. The purple stuff is my own thoughts. The green stuff is just educational stuff. The blue is reiteration of Bible verses and things that stood out to me. I want to learn, guys. I want to learn. The Bible of the Old Testament right now is a lot of killing, a lot of anger, a lot of lessons. For example, I'll tell you a good one. Whenever God told Moses, and Moses told the people how to build the tabernacle and the table and all those things, the exact dimensions. I have a whole page in here of times the Lord was specific, because he is specific a lot of times. I don't know if he's specific to me now, and that's something I struggle with. Like, I would love precise directions. Maybe he gives us free will now and lets us get to things our own way, and that's grace. But he was very specific, and it says that when he told them what to do, he gave them the skills to do it. So he gave weavers for the curtains and woodworkers to build the altar, and he gave everyone abilities to do it. But then on top of that, it says, hold up. So in Exodus, see, I made a note of this because I really thought it was in Exodus 35, 34, and 35. It says God gave them the ability and the skill to do what he asked. But then it says in Exodus 36:2 that Moses summoned them and to summon everyone that the Lord gave ability to. And then he said, all those who God gave ability and who are willing to come and do the work. So not only did God give them the ability, they had to be willing with their ability to do the work. So, and that's still today. God gives us abilities, and only some of us are willing, and you got to have the ability and the skill and be willing. So there's a lot. I should have been doing this again. I should have been talking about all this from Genesis, because here I am in Leviticus. And my question right now to you guys is this: do we believe everything we read in the Bible? And please don't jump to your quick, yeah, you have to, that's faith. Please, honest opinions. I want you guys just to go through like me and find things that question your mind and your heart. Just your moral compass goes, because God is a fair and just God, and I believe that. And I'm a Christian, but I'm a skeptic. I ask a lot of questions, and then I question the answers I get from the questions I ask. I'll be honest about that. I just want to know. And if your answer you give me, if answer I find doesn't make sense to me, I keep asking and I keep asking. I'm not saying it's healthy. It might not be. It might be healthy. I don't really know. But right now, I am really struggling with some of the things that God told Moses to tell Aaron. God told Noah to tell the sons. God told Isaac to tell Jacob. God told Abraham to tell Isaac and his nephew. And I don't know. I believe 99.9% of it, but there is one or two things, there's less than there is more, that I question. And that leads to the overall question: is it possible that as a human that some of these peeps in the Bible misheard God or spoke of their own convictions, thinking it was God, which I think as a world in whole we're at risk of doing in general. We do that still today. What's the word of the Lord and what is our own personal convictions? What has the Lord spoke to us individually and what is actually factually Bible? So that's why I'm reading the Bible from beginning to end. I want clarity. I want to know. I had an old preacher friend. Well, he's getting older. And he used to say, do you know that you know that you know? Speaking about your salvation. But I want to do it for the Word of God. I want to know that I know that I know. I want to be unfaltering. I don't want to be turned by the world in directions that are not godly. But I don't want to be stubborn and not listen and not be open-minded. So I'm 3 chapters in, and I don't want that answer of that's the Old Testament. Please, please, please. We can talk about anything, but God, I have a couple friends, and the first thing they'll say is that's the Old Testament. That's the Old Testament. Now, thank God that He sent God, His Son, to die on the cross, to walk in our shoes, to understand us. And not that He didn't before, but you know what I'm saying. And now a lot of rules don't apply, or a lot of, not rules, but a lot of ceremonies, rules, they don't, like sacrifices they don't apply anymore because God came, Lord Jesus came and saved us from so many things. But still, that's the Old Testament. That's the Old Testament. God gave it to us. He didn't destroy it. It's still here. He wants us to read it. He wants us to learn from it. And I'm going to tell y'all something y'all might not know. There's more Old Testament than there is New Testament. I'm going to just show you in my Bible. So we got, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel, 1 Kings, 2 Kings, 1 Chronicles, all the way down. And then before you start Mark. So there's Mark, there's Matthew. So I'll just kind of stop right there. That's like Matthew 7. Just to give you guys an idea. This is all the Old Testament. This little section is the New. So there is way more old than there is new. So I don't want that whole, that's the Old Testament, that's the Old Testament. If we're cutting out the Old Testament, I'm going to have this Bible read in 3 days. Come on, guys. Let me know. My question really is, what are your thoughts on some of the things you read in the Bible that seem far-fetched? That seem like God's just being mean? He made people, and He made them with a defect, and then said, I made you that way, but you can't. Please, I'm open-minded. I'm a skeptic. I ask a lot of questions. I ask questions upon question, but I am learnable. I'm not brainwashable, but I'm teachable. So I want to talk about it. If anyone has an opinion or a thought, we'll see how many times I jump on here and talk about this Bible as I'm reading it. Because again, I should have been doing this from day one. There's a lot of jakey things. Okay, bye.